Okay, so that will be important to watch out for. Varinder, thanks for that. Rima, Relcom is getting some thumbs up from some brokerages?
Yes, CLSA has upgraded the stock to an outperform from an underperform rating. This is in reference to the tower asset sale which the company had announced, and they say that if it's done, then it can reduce the consolidated debt by 60%. Apart from that, the company is also looking to sell its fiber assets. If that deal goes through, then the debt would come down even further, which is why they've raised the target price on Reliance Communication to 90 rupees. Anyway, the stock had lost close to about 10% in the last 5 or 6 trading sessions, so it's recovering some of the lost ground. But the big headline is CLSA has upgraded Reliance Communication to an outperform with a higher target price of 90 per share.
Okay, well, those are very important flashes coming in. We should keep looking at the shares of GVK as well as SBI, ICICI, IDBI, all those banks as well. This perhaps could be considered a very deserved case of 5/25 because airports, if anything, are doing well. Among the many lead indicators of the economy that's doing well are air passenger traffic, and therefore perhaps here's one debt recast which will definitely bring more money as even if you extend the tenor of the loan. So this will be definitely relief for GVK. And relief for these banking entities in the sense that at least that big debt of 24,000 crore is not going to slip up. To that extent, this will be a bit of a relief of a bad news that will not break on their heads.
And many of these airports also have plans to develop commercial properties in and around the airport, which could also bring in additional cash flows over a longer period of time.
Those were factored in when the loan was given. In fact, much more than need have factored in got factored in. That's the big problem. But what's good, of course, is that air traffic after troughing is picking up. So perhaps now there is some good news for these lenders as well as for the borrowers for sure. But some minor good news for the stainless steel companies, Varinder?
Well, we mentioned that in the morning. The anti-dumping duty coming on the stainless steel. Now, the quantum of that was very high, 57% for the cold-rolled flat products from China and nearly 53% from EU. People are just praying that it doesn't happen, that China, cut prices by as much as what the import duty has been, implemented. So it's a good news. Stainless steel, of course, JSL Stainless, of course, is the largest player in that space, and the stock is moving up by 13%.
Okay. We also spoke earlier in the day on this issue with Mr. Seshagiri Rao, the Joint Managing Director and Group CFO of JSW Steel. The conversation was not all about stainless steel, but on related steel products.
Today, the safeguard duty has been introduced by the Government of India in the month of September on hot rolled coils of certain grades. Similarly, tariffs were increased earlier, but even after that, the imports into India have not abated. The steel is coming into India in different forms. They are classifying this as alloy steel, and they are also bringing cold rolled coils. Some of the Korean companies are bringing at $224 per ton. They are also dropping prices. These are the reasons why it is not giving any relief with regard to the domestic steel industry.
Okay, and now let's move across to Agam. He's going to be telling us why Kaveri Seeds is higher in trade and Monsanto is under pressure.
So we understand that the government has taken a decision to regulate the cottonseed prices centrally from March 2016. Moreover, they've also taken another decision to regulate the royalty payments made to Monsanto by some of these seed companies. Now, it affects two companies, Kaveri Seed Company and Monsanto. How does it affect Kaveri Seed Company? It's positive is that, of course, given the fact that the cottonseed prices will reduce, the royalty payable to Monsanto will also reduce. The negative, of course, is that given the fact that cottonseed prices will reduce, it also means lower margins for Kaveri Seed Company. However, the street is anticipating and saying that a lot of the negatives for Kaveri Seed Company are priced in. Why? Because firstly, in terms of regulation, a lot of these key states which produce cotton seeds, such as Maharashtra, Gujarat, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, all have already regulated these cotton seed prices. And given the fact that Kaveri Seed Company only gets about 10% of its revenues overall, and on the other hand, when it comes to Monsanto, of course, the negative impact here is that they will see lower funds in terms of royalties, and that's also the reason why we are looking at a little bit of pressure in Monsanto and Kaveri Seed Company up in trade today.
Very good. Thanks a lot for that, Agam. Varinder, very quickly, some more buzzers you're looking at?
Well, look at financial technologies, the intraday chart. That stock has spiked up 15% in the last 5 minutes. Financial technologies is the stock what I'm talking about. Otherwise, there are many other stocks like Shilpi Cables is one which is moving up in the small cap space. GPT Infra, which is, say, look at financial technologies. GPT Infra up 20%. Yash Papers, Polymers, AMD, Medplast. Most of the stocks are gaining on good volumes, up 10 to 15%. Vipul Dye, Multibase we mentioned, Lotus Eye, Spell Semiconductor. Semiconductor stocks have been active since last few days. Keep an eye on that. Tara Jewels and Borax Morarji are the few stocks which are gaining today on good volumes.
Okay, quite a bit of chemicals companies that seem to be doing well. You want to recap, Reema?
Yes, a quick recap of the top stocks that we're tracking at midday. We've got a lot of these auto companies, M&M, Maruti Suzuki, Tata Motors, Eicher Motors. Keep your eye on PSU banks like State Bank of India as well as Bank of Baroda. Multi-Base India, JSL Stainless, GVK Power, JSW Steel, Kaveri Seeds, a couple of the other stocks that we're tracking.